I know. Hola, hola, everyone. Long live the long-haired and bearded hello adult that looks like they were reincarnated from 2007. I want this to be known, flat out, this was not my choice. Too many of my family members wouldn't stop yapping about how long my hair was, how thick my beard was getting, and even if you dare to agree with them, shut up, you're wrong, because you don't know what you're talking about. I wanted long hair. I like to have a more thicker beard because I just like to have a more mature look to me. Can you all blame me when I just look like I'm 12 with a beard that looks like I drew it? But don't worry, I will get my hair back. Just give it like 3 weeks and all of world peace will all be restored once it's back. So now, let's just get to the video, please. I'm putting the freaking hat back on. Screw it, the beanie, whatever you call it. I have shame, I don't care. Ash Ketchum, a boy born from Palatown who had dared to dream. He did. A boy who dared to try to catch 'em all. He didn't. A boy who dared to go through many regions, met many friends along the way, and after all of 25 years, almost 10,000 days, Ash had finally won his first Pokemon League. And no, we are not counting this alone a championship win, because in Sun and Moon, it was just the first league that it was ever created, and being so last minute, everyone and their mother could join it. So really, not a legit thing, this is where it counts. But after 25 years of pure hard work and taking so many L's, one must just ask, I'm the one, by the way, have we ever considered how barely Ash has won his matches? Now, this is all alleged. I'm not making this video just to get sued here, but if Ash is willing to respond, I'm all here for it. So let's just say it's all alleged. What am I exactly alleging? Well, I just feel that Ash has just been bending the rules just a tiny bit of how the rules of Pokemon battling works. And it's just unfair to see that he gets awarded for it while others don't. Like, let's look at Ash's Pikachu. By far Ash's greatest Pokemon. This one in particular is the rarest Pikachu of them all. By far the greatest Pikachu of all time. Oh well, kinda. Because it can do one thing that other Pikachus and other electric types can't. This Pikachu can somehow sweep through the basic rules of type matching and destroy ground type Pokemon like it's nothing. So for anyone who isn't aware, electric types have zero, and I mean zero, effect on ground type Pokemon. No matter what you do, you can still do a Thunderbolt and it does nothing. You can Mega Evolve, but guess what? Ain't doing nothing. Even when you do that confusing Macarena dance ritual in Sun and Moon, seriously Pokemon, what was that concept? And yet that big godly move would still not leave a scratch in the ground type. Like a Geodude or a Rhydon. Plain and simple. But yet for some reason, this little rat can. Pikachu, by sheer will and anime BS plot armor, can sweep the competition no matter how the odds are against it. No joke, in the first season of the anime, Pikachu, an electric type, went up against a Rhydon, a ground and rock type Pokemon, as Ash was fighting against a fire type gym leader. Okay, that theme makes no sense for the gym, but we're still gonna move on. So with the clear disadvantage, you'd think, oh, Pikawash is done for. The odds are against him. They're left trapped between a corner. In what universe is there that exists as to where Pikachu can possibly survive this wretched plan?
Pikachu the Horde!
Aim for the Horde. Pikachu beat Rhydon because he struck Rhydon by the Horde. A weakness of Rhydon that never gets established again. Cool. Ash is a cheater. Point improvement number 1. Take that, you 10-year-old.
Don't you know what today is, Pikachu? This is the day we first met.
Okay, then take that, you 11-year-old.
Welcome to this young man, 10-year-old Ash Ketchum.
The show is dumb. But now I've proven my point. I also need to backtrack my statement on Pikachu potentially being the greatest because it does have its downsides. Because this Pikachu is still the same one that he got from Professor Oak. Pikachu should be level 100 right now. He's been going through this journey and progress, and it proves that because there's literally an episode where Bro was able to be a literal Red Ice and have himself draw to Latios. Latios, the dragon type legendary who should easily sweep this little rat because electric ain't gonna do nothing on a dragon goddess. But yet Pikachu still did either way. And don't get me started on the discussion of Tobias. That in itself is a whole video, but in short, Bro ain't real. He ain't a real guy. He ain't a real character. That guy, this character Tobias, is literally just a plot device to get Ash out of the league because the writers realized how hard they cooked with Ash's team. He was in the semi-finals. He finally beat his bully Paul, and now here he is. Now about to win. Now they're like, oh crap, we messed up. Now we gotta kick him out. How do we do it? Let's just bring out a guy who just literally squashes his whole team with 2 legendaries. That being a Darkrai and a Latios. Oh, but Darkrai's not a legendary. He's a womp womp. I don't care. The point still stands. All right, I don't like standing. I'm just gonna. Hola, hola. And what really adds to my proof that went from just making a video that was originally about Ash having Pokemon that cheats, I've come to the realization that the trainers that he faces also cheat too. Because to add insult into injury, the worst case scenario that puts Tobias in the cheating league is the fact that he's shown on screen that he's caught both Latios and Darkrai with Pokeballs. Pokeballs! For comparison, the Pokeball is the weakest normal Pokeball that you could use. Okay, the strongest is like a Master Ball, Ultra Ball. I'm not getting into that stuff, but the Pokeball is not what you'd use to catch Legendary. And for another comparison, status effect or not, to catch them while they're on low health, the catch percentage while using just a Pokeball is still under 5%. So either Bro is lucky, or you can call the cops right now to check what's behind his Nintendo DS, because that man is a Game Shark, because he is cheating. Also, I bet Latias went through this whole revenge tour, killing most of Ash's Pokemon, because he's still pissed at seeing his own sister kiss him. Yes, that was a real Latias kissing Ash. Latias can transform into a human woman, and we won't be asking any more questions. So yeah, Pikachu can handle 2 legendaries. And sure, he can beat a few ground types, even though it makes no freaking sense, but this is the information we're withholding right now. I need to mention this now because Ash's powers of hacking clearly have a drawback. That drawback being how Ash can have his Pikachu go from killing 2 legendaries to losing to a rookie trainer having their first ever battle in their life.
And remember, this is Snivy's first battle.
How can you, for the life of me, be a trainer for nearly 13 years, becoming a veteran of being a 10-year-old, and still lose to a fetus trainer with a fetus Pokemon that has never battled before? Oh, but Nando, Pikachu got attacked by the legendary Pokemon Zekrom, causing it to be unable to use its Electrota. Big whoop! It still has moves like Quick Attack and Iron Tail. One attack alone should obliterate a young Snivy. So right now, Pikachu really has no excuse.
Use Quick Attack!
Pikachu, my man. Mid! And you wanna know the crazy thing about this all is? This was actually a fair fight. You wanna know why? Well, it's because Snivy defeated Pikachu with a Leaf Tornado. Why does that matter? Well, when you get your starter Pokemon, no matter what, your starter will always be level 5. But yet this rookie Snivy can learn a move that's 11 levels away from it. Meaning Ash Ketchum got out-cheated. That is... honestly, that is so based. Well done, Temu Paul. But now with the... I'm taking this beanie off, this country is way too hot. But now with the context that you're giving now about Ash's Pikachu, one must think that's it. One must think that's all harm Pikachu could do as a Pokemon. Well, he'd be right. If you were lying! Because ladies and gentlemen, it is time for us to get to the next chapter that I'd like to call the Thunder Armor
Tragedy.
Let us begin. So Ash begins his journey in Hoenn, having to leave his home of Kanto and leaving his journey from Johto, after having the world watch his own flying type Charizard lose to a fighting type Blaziken, a Pokemon that hadn't even been born in the region that they're in, nor was Hoenn really canon yet. Seriously, Ash, you suck! And during this journey, he gets to meet his friends May and her little brother Max.
It's really you! You were in the Johto League Silver Conference! Mm-hmm. You lost in the second round!
And during their first trip together, they begin to get hungry, but with having reached a more troubling point as they've all run out of food. All except for Max, who had one chocolate bar left. But when he was ready to share with everyone, a thief soars through the sky to help steal the chocolate bar. Now one must ask themselves, was the bird, no, you actually got it right, it was actually a bird. And thus we get introduced to our new Pokemon named Talo, who then feeds himself on the joy of eating a chocolate bar and the pride of children, my man. And then Talo would get pissed off at Ash and his gang for trying to steal some berries, because to Talo, that's his and his family's berries, and you're stealing from his family. And no matter what, above all else, Talo's got no friends, he only has family. So Talo and his family go after this very little Pikachu, but let me remind you of the basics. Electric, stronger, flying. So with that you would think that Pikachu could easily vanquish all of these Talos.
That'll keep him down for a while.
A flock of Talo survived one of the strongest electric type moves at the time from a powerful electric rat. Pikachu, really? You couldn't finish off a flock of freaking Talo? You know what? Maybe I was being too harsh. Let's just give Pikachu another chance. Pikachu, I'm gonna give you one last shot. One! Just one to redeem yourself! So then the leader of the flock, aka the Chocolate Thief, will go out to face Pikachu on his own, and thus Pikachu would try hitting Talo with a third 90-based Power Thunderbolt.
No way! That's unbelievable!
Okay, either Talo is hacking too, or Pikachu is just on his washed era. Oh, what's the excuse now, Pikachu? Couldn't give it enough power because you were hungry? Oh, a skill issue! Pikachu was getting clapped so hard that Ash had to order Pikachu to use a Thunder, but in actuality, he just used a false version of the Volt Tackle attack. Kinda like in that one moment in that Dragon Ball Z movie where Goku turned into a Super Saiyan, but not really a Super Saiyan, he was just a false version of the Super Saiyan state. Only this version was cool, and this just looks like pure cheeks. And after that, Ash was able to catch a Talo, and thus becoming his first ever Pokemon in the Hoenn region. A very strong start to put over a new Pokemon to have in Ash's team. Boy, I sure hope they don't screw up his momentum fast. This bird went from being an absolute tank in its debut to then losing 2 of its fights and just being sacked as Ash's soul-searching bird. Not even kidding, I'm solely focusing on proper battles. The Team Rocket battles do not count because lol, it's Team Rocket, they just don't. So Ash goes on to face the second gym leader, Brawly, a fighting type gym leader. Brawly will then send out a Machop while Ash sends out a Talo. Get the basics straight. Flying, strong, fighting. So with that kind of advantage and how they present the Talo, you would think Talo would have it. Oh, you would think you would have it easy. This bird would hit not 1, not 2, not 4, but 6 consecutive wing attacks and Machop in Brock's words.
There's been no damage done at all.
And that's because of Machop's quote-unquote endurance, because he's just tanking the hits and it becomes a build-up for him to continue forward. Which you think I take as an excuse, but no! While Machop can learn Endure through TM, a move that helps you tank hits to at least let you survive on 1 HP, but the more you repeatedly use it, the less of a chance you have in being successful in hitting it. Those are the rules for the move. So let's say out of the 6 wing attacks, 4 of which has led Machop to use Endure, which is possible, but I can highly doubt that this Machop could pull it off so confidently. So either this Machop is hacking or is just extremely lucky. Either way, Taylor's ass got handed and dropped after just 1 move.
Alright, Machop, cross chop, go!
Taylor is unable to battle.
My boy lost to a Pokemon that he had an advantage against. And don't worry, it gets worse. Taylor also had another match 2 episodes later in the episode Now That's Flower Power, and that was against May's Beautifly, but it was so one-sided as May was a complete noob in having Pokemon matches and was always messing up her progress in the match, so screw you Taylor, you ain't getting that win. So now nearly 30 episodes, yes, nearly 30 episodes later, that's like a whole season and a quarter, and for Netflix terms, that's you watching all episodes combined from 4 shows. In the episode, Pros and Con Artists, Ash went to go face a trainer named Drew. Don't worry, no relations. And he's like May's rival, kinda like how Ash was with Gary. And Drew challenged Ash to a fight because he believed he could beat his ass easily. And Ash was like, well, let's see about that. And then proceeded to prove him right. Taylor, a flying type, lost to Roselia, a grass type. Because let me remind you, fly, strong, grass. And yet he still lost. And I know competitive players will come at me, and yes, it is possible to beat a Pokemon that you have a disadvantage against. It's just judged based on your strategy and how you do it. But my man, Taylor is now down 0-2 to Pokemon that he was super effective against. Taylor became a hacker to deal with Pikachu's attacks for 1 day and got punished for it. The losses were so catastrophic that after Taylor's first loss with Machop, that Taylor got benched and was substituted for Ash's new Pokemon Corphish, and was then only resorted to be given the Pidgeotto role, in which he was just a search bird to help Ash and his gang find what they were looking for, which is a cool, fine thing, but it's a far cry as to how he was first presented. But don't worry, to the only 2 Taylor fans, there is still hope, as then another 30 episodes later, Ash would enter Taylor into a Pokeringer competition, in which it's a competition where 2 trainers send out a flying Pokemon and they fight over a ring, and they have to get that ring towards a goalpost to win. But during the finals, with him facing James from Team Rocket, Taylor faces some tough struggle, but with his fierce determination and the power of friendship, Taylor would evolve into a Swallow and thus winning the competition. I found this episode to be quite funny because in the next series, which is Diamond and Pearl, they would then create the exact same plot with Ash's next Route 1 bird, in which Ash entered Staravia into a Pokemon competition, and then Staravia faced some tough struggle, but with determination and a power of friendship, Staravia evolved into Staraptor and thus winning the competition. This is amazing to me because even though they recreated this plot from before, word for word, bar for bar, they still went on to treat Staraptor like an absolute badass and gave Staraptor 10 times the better treatment that Swallow will never get ever. Hashtag justice for my boy Swallow. But even with the writers hating these guts, Swallow still pushed through, even helping Ash obtain his 7th badge after being a much more puke color version of him. And then for Swallow's 2nd ever match comes to what I've been waiting to talk about for oh so long. The battle between Ash and Tate and Liza. I've been waiting to talk about this for so long, and now I finally have the platform to do it. So Tate and Liza, better known as the Hoenns' 8th gym leader, but it's also more known for people thinking that due to Tate's design, people thought that Tate was a girl. I didn't understand how people saw it that way, Maybe it was because people saw Tate first from the games, but I just watched him first through the anime. So maybe that's why it was just so easy for me to tell, but yeah, that's fine by me because that's your skill issue, not mine. So the battle begins, and to combat Tate and Liza using a Solrock and Lunatone, aka 2 rock and psychic type Pokemon with the ability to fly around in the air, Ash decides to be smart and go for Pikachu and Swallow. Taylor, a flying type, going up against 2 rock type Pokemon, while he has a Corphish and a Gravel still in his disposal. But Ash makes the excuse that he needs to use Taylor because he needs a flyer to go up against the flying rocks. But let me remind you, Trico/Gravel have been known to do well in jumping around objects like a ninja to reach where they need to be. Look at the height Trico goes to go from jumping out of a tree. This is literally how Gravel beats a freaking Altaria during his last gym battle. Grass and water are both strong against those rock Pokemon. Use them, you idiot!
Lunatone, use Light Screen to protect Solrock!
Reflect is literally a move that cuts your opponent's special attack power for a few turns. It is not a counter-attack.
Solrock, Sandstorm, now!
Sand Attack is a field move. It does not work like that.
Lunatone, use Light Screen!
Still, not how that works. But even with Thunderbolt attacking Swallow, Swallow wears it off like it's nothing, and it seems like maybe his hacks are coming back. But then those hacks begin to reach a tipping point. Here it comes. So Ash was getting out-cheated and clapped so hard that he decided to have his other Pikachu give his Swallow the electric chair. How thoughtful. But that process was all wrong, because that attack wasn't actually meant to hurt Swallow. It was meant to help him absorb it. And thus, ladies and gentlemen, I give to you...
They're using thunder as armor!
No, it just turned into golden bullshit. What is this? What actually is this? I'll tell you what it is. It's a combination of Ash's plot armor and Ash's cheating using pulverization to then help fuse together to combine this absolute stank. And the worst part is, Ash acts like he knew that that's exactly what was going to happen.
There has to be something I haven't thought of. That's it. Of course. It's my best shot.
Keep in mind, this was never foreshadowed. It was never advised to him by anyone, nor does this kind of ability ever appear again. It just happens for this one moment, and this one moment alone, because the writers realized too late that they were overcooked and burnt their food, so to disguise the screw-up, they just added black pepper and drowned the food in some special sauce. Call it a divine sweet meal, and that's what you call it a day. We're trying to look for answers over this monstrosity. I came over this Reddit page trying to make theories around this whole incident, and there was a guy that was saying, well, I know it's anime, but like, it survived and got buffed by its determination. And then someone replied, haven't you ever been shot with a gun? If you don't die, you get so determined. There is so much to say about this, but to keep it short, I'm going to grab a video clip from a PokeTuber named TheAuraGuardian, because he just summed up this whole battle quite well with this.
Great battle, Ash. Your Pokemon absorbed that thunder with no fear of damage to themselves.
Bullshit.
Well, do you have something for Ash, Tate?
Yep.
It's the F you badge, awarded to trainers that use bullshit strategies to win.
And that's that, ladies and gentlemen, and all genders around. What did we learn? Well, what I learned was that this whole video felt like a mistake, because this whole video was supposed to be an expose showing that Ash was just a cheater, but then I come to realize that most of the trainers that he faces cheats the same too. But if everyone is cheating, is it really cheating? Yes! Follow all my socials here. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you all next week. I'm tired.